Hi all, today we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions and therefore also simplifying a fraction. So this is anything that is in our notes packet with a number 5 in the upper left hand corner. Alright, so as always, some vocabulary that we need to know. Equivalent fractions is a fraction that has the same value. When I have equivalent fractions, I always want to be sure that I'm writing my fraction in simplest form. So from here on out, writing a fraction in simplest form is kind of an implied rule. So if it can be simplified, be sure that you simplify it. So I want to write 3 fractions equivalent to 6/9. So an easy something that we can do if I want to write equivalent fractions is I can always multiply my numerator and denominator by 2. So remember, when we write fractions, we have the numerator and the denominator. So 6 out of 9 people. So again, if I want an equivalent fraction to 6/9, I could say times 2 would be 12, times 2 would be 18. So it doesn't matter if I have 6 out of 9 people that say something or 12 out of 18, that fraction it has the same value. I can also multiply by 3. So if whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom to keep it equivalent. So I could have 18/27. So one way that I can make equivalent fractions is by multiplying. Another way that I can make equivalent fractions, 6/9 is not in simplest form. So I can make it into simplest form by dividing by the greatest common factor, or by dividing by a common factor. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 2/3 is in simplest form. So we can say 6/9 is equivalent to 12/18, which is equivalent to 18/27, which in simplest form is equivalent to 2/3. And 2/3 is in simplest form. How do we know that? Because 2 and 3 have no common factors. Its only common factor is 1. Well, sorry, I've got a little bit of a problem here with my video, which I didn't realize. Alright, so again, we want to simplify a fraction by using the greatest common factor. So I have the fraction of 16/40. So I have 16 out of 40. So I can use the greatest common factor. That's what I'm going to divide by. So if I list out my factors of 16, I've got 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 times 4. 40 is going to be 1, and you got it, 40. 2 times 20 equals 40. 4 times 10 equals 40. And 5 times 8 equals 40. So now I'm finding what's the greatest common factor. Looks like my greatest common factor is 4. So what do you think we can divide by? If you said divide by 4, you win. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Oops, I messed up. That's not the greatest common factor. Our greatest common factor, if I could read, is really 8. So what are we really dividing by? We're really dividing by 8. 16 divided by 8 is 2. 40 divided by 8 is 5. This cannot be simplified anymore, so it's in simplest form. Now, what if we did do divided by 4? We'd have 4/10, and we know that those are even numbers, so they can be divided again. So dividing by the greatest common factor is the most efficient way, so we only have to do a division problem one time instead of 2 times. So our simplest form is 2/5. All right, here we've got a story problem. I've got a store that has 12 types of blue pens, 6 types of black pens, 2 types of red pens. In simplest form, what fraction of the types of pens are blue? So first of all, I need to know what's my denominator and numerator going to be. So how many total pens do I have? I've got 12 plus 6 plus 2. So that's going to be 20. So I have 20 total pens. My question's asking me what fraction are blue. So how many blue pens do I have? I have 12. So this is just a different kind of way that we can try to simplify a fraction. I'm going to use prime factorization. So let's figure out what the prime factors are for 12 and 20. So my prime factorization for 12 is going to be 2 times 2 times 3. Prime factorization for 20 is 2 times 2 times 5. So I have my prime factorization for each number. Now I'm looking to see which ones cancel. Well, those cancel. So now I'm left with 3/5. So 3/5 is my answer. Let's see if we did that by using the greatest common factor. Would we get the same answer? We start with 12/20. The greatest common factor between 4 and 20, I'm sorry, between 12 and 20 is, good job, way to listen, 4. So if I divide each one by 4, 12 divided by 4 is 3, 20 divided by 4 is 5, I end up with 3/5. So this is just a different way of simplifying a fraction. I could use my prime factorization. Either way, I get the same answer, 3/5. Okay, we will do some belt work problems related to simplifying a fraction and finding equivalent fractions tomorrow.